Welcome. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Friday, the 4th of November, 2022. So here we are, Friday night. I'm praying that you won't see me tomorrow when I win the lottery. $1.5 billion. Can you imagine? After tax, what do you have, 800 million left in America or something? I think you can live a life, but whoever wins it, God bless you. I did buy tickets. And I'll make you a promise. If I win, I will still do this for a bit. Could be the rest of my life. I love doing it. So what's the difference? Okay, it's not about the money. I mean, you lose money as a trader all your life, or as a commodity broker all your life, or as a businessman all your life. Nothing's in a straight line. Some people, I guess, have it. Most don't. It goes every which way. You learn to appreciate it. But as you get older, you ask yourself, what do I want to do? Well, when I grow up, I want to be me. And I like doing this. Okay. So today we get jobs data, and I'm not going to go through everything. In my financial update, I give you a whole spiel on it. The financial jobs that came out today were a decline from the September. They revised September up by 50,000. The jobs today were a big number at 260. The market was looking for 193 to 200,000. They got 260. That's a big number, but it's still a big decline from getting 315 in September with the revision. Okay, that's not what the market moved on, in my opinion. It moved on China. And that's why you had a 26-cent move in the copper. You had a 200-point drop in the dollar index, okay? Gold up $45, silver up $1.35. Why? Because if China's back in the market via loosening up of COVID, via new vaccines that they're actually going to start using that maybe work, via different attitude, if, and I don't know if that it is, all right? Tomorrow there's going to be another conference that they hold where they're supposed to give more details, but the fact that those details have floated. Remember, earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, they were creating a commission. Then Thursday, we heard from the head of one of the heads of the Health Ministry, no, they are staying with their zero tolerance. And today it all changed again. And suddenly tomorrow there's another event happening where we're going to get more information. Let's assume that eventually this draconian method gets cracks in it and they come to their senses and they operate in this new century that we're in, modern world. No lockdowns, vaccines, doing things. Are we surviving in America well? We are. What about you in Europe? You're doing fine. Australia, New Zealand, want me to keep going on? Japan. Doesn't mean we don't put on masks. Doesn't mean that that's it. Our hospitals aren't full. It's become more like a flu season, and you have to pay attention to it. And it's going to evolve. You know, the last I looked, the flu evolves every single season. And if you don't get a shot, fine. A lot of people die from the flu. Do you realize how many people die every year in America from the flu? Go read about it. Your jaw's going to drop. You don't have to get your vaccines. Just don't be around people you give it to. I get vaccines and I'm still here. Okay, so that's what I think happened. And there's another shoe from it. Okay, that's the one tomorrow. Then next week, you have another element you have to deal with this. You're going to get CPI numbers in the United States. That CPI number, you can't say that the number we had in jobs was bad. It's one of these wishy-washy. It's certainly bad. It's a big drop, one of the biggest in a couple of years from a peak that we saw in September. I mean, you lost 50,000 jobs. That's big. But if CPI comes in strong, the market will say, yeah, you lost 50, but you were still 260 and you still have the CPI. The Fed's going to go longer and keep going. Larry Summers, the Treasury Secretary, is in that camp. He's talking 6% neutral rate, which means instead of thinking that the short term is going to go 4.75 to 5.25, it might have to stretch out to 6%. Very frankly, he knows as much as you know. He's smarter than us in that, but nobody knows. That's the point I'm making. Nobody really knows. You can make great educated guesses, which he certainly is equipped to do, but he doesn't know. He thinks he has an idea, and I'm sure if you cornered him, that's what he'd tell you. He doesn't know. That's where we're at. So when I look at the gold chart, and that's what we're at, remember, you can get more from me and go to my financial futures update. You can see we got a little bit of a bounce. Okay, for the month, remember, we just began, it's the 4th. We're up $35, 2%. That's not bad. When you look at the week, you're getting a bounce, but you're still underneath the 18-week, which means it's a bounce in a market that has bearish bias. Why? When you're underneath the 18-week average, the filter, I use that as a filter. It keeps me with a bearish bias. I'm looking not to be long, I'm looking for potential sell signals, not buy signals. Does that make sense to you? Hope it does, because that's how I use it. Then I come to the chart here, I'm not getting a sell signal. I got to get out of Dodge signal. I had a bunch of them. First, we hit the 200-week average and the Bollinger Band. That's it. Out. You'll hear me say this over and over. It's when you get to a 200-week moving average, how many years does that represent? 4. Do you honestly think you just go through it and you don't hang around it? You could go back on your charts and take a look. I don't care if it's on the upside or the downside, the average. It's an important number, and you'll pause often. And you learn that the easy money to get down there, that part of the game is over, and you should be looking at other areas to play in. And I know what you're going to look for is the turn. Oh, well, it's there. It's going to turn up. I wish I could say it works that way. It rarely does, okay? But it is an area that if one is short, it's time to cut your chain from that. We then look at what the chart's doing just with the swing line. So now I have a pattern of a lower low, higher high. Oh, so where could the resistance be on the rally? Stupid me. Here's the 200-week average. That comes in at 1690. And 1706.60 is the 18-week. That number, by the way, is going to fall when we reopen Sunday night. They're going to be literally right by each other. So the 1700 level is going to be a battle zone depending on what we hear from China. If that gives ground and the market can close over those, you open up the door for potentially the 100-week average. But where's that friend of ours, the Bollinger Band? Well, my gosh, it's sitting right there with it. So something 1790, 1800, that zone, if you can lift. You haven't lifted. You still have resistance in front of you, and it's going to hang on 2 elements, the CPI, but first, getting through whatever China's announcement is. When I look at momentum, I have all kinds of reasons to not be short. You're going to go, what's he talking about? Well, you refuse to embed. You've already hit your targets. Time to not play gold. And if you're a subscriber of me, when's the last gold trade I put out? The gold-silver ratio. Silver's stronger than gold. And that happened when you get under this average. You came back up, you challenged it, and you fell right back down. Now, where's gold, silver? Not gold, silver. Where's the silver in terms of the Bollinger Band and the 200-week? You're at a key point. You're at a big number. But what are the odds of staying over the Bollinger Band? 5% of the time. So I know what a number of you are going to do. I'm not going to be with you, of course, on that. You're going to buy over this because it's going to break out. And if you win, I applaud you. But if you go back in time, you lose most of the time doing that. For the one time you may win, enjoy yourself. The way they build the casinos in Vegas, somebody's going to win that slot machine, right? Eventually, you got to have a payout. People want to think they can win. How many people are feeding into it to get that big payout? How much are they making? That's how I look at trading. You know, it's all about percentages. Cover the name of the chart. Do yourself a favor. I teach that in my charting course. I take the name off the chart. Then I'll bring it back so you get a feel for what it was and why. Because if you're like me or anyone else, you're going to come into it with a predetermined idea. Copper got up to a key resistance point. Okay. That's fine. It hasn't been in a sell signal. It's been fighting what number? What's this gray number, folks? The 200-week average. What's it been fighting at? You don't think that has been fighting since July? Doesn't mean it would resolve to the upside. It's not what I'm saying. It's the battleground. For the moment, the bulls have won out. Now, if China were to come out and say, no, we are not reversing that policy, you're going right back down. If it says they are, there's more room to the upside, potentially the 100-week average. But again, you have to buy over that Bollinger Band. I'll let other people do it. Same thing in the platinum. You're in an uptrend, been in an uptrend. This is a weekly chart. Now you're into the zone, the 200-week on the upside. How long have you been fighting at this average? Just to make my point. You don't have to believe what I say. It's there. Dollar index, okay. All the key averages are down here. If this market closes under 109.35, it'd be the first real break in the market that has a leg to it. So far, we've had breaks just like this that have carried in and challenged the 18-week average in red and have held it. I don't know where we're going to be yet. I need to get through this week to give you a better answer. Sorry about that. So that tells you where we're at. Let me bring you to where I'm at on this, and don't leave. I want to offer you 2 weeks of my research for free. That's right, the written updates, the dailies, the charting services, everything we've got. The values, a couple of $100 probably by the time it's all done. If you'd like to try it, you'll see what I do, how I do it. You're going to see I record 5:30 in the morning approximately each morning, Monday through Friday. Give you my ideas, buy here, sell there, do this, do that, and why, and teach along the way. Then I do it at 9 o'clock on the ETFs, the spiders, and the stocks. I'd like to show it to you. All you have to do is go to our website. Under free offers, when you go there, you'll see it on the top left, or you can click up here. It'll take you right there as well. I'm Ira Epstein. I'm having some fun. You have fun. And if I'm really rich tomorrow, I promise you I will, even if I win, I will be here. You take care.